After a horror start to Season 2, a couple of back-to-back victories have kick-started our season, and today we see if we can keep up the momentum and begin our march up the table. But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. Now, the board seem to have some very lofty expectations this season, expecting us to qualify for the Europa League in the Premier League. But as you can see from our position in the Premier League table, just being 4 points clear of the relegation zone, and some of the dreadful results and performances we've had, particularly in the opening couple of months of the season, things just aren't quite clicking perfectly so far for Everton Football Club. Now, obviously, the change from a tiki-taka style of play more to wing play to try and get the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Beto up front more involved in the game clearly seems to be paying dividends, with a dramatic Dele Alli late goal against Southampton managing to extend our unbeaten run to 2 games now. However, in spite of these tactical tweaks, I am still struggling to get the best out of some of my more senior players. More specifically, this man, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 4 Premier League games to his name, absolutely no goals and only a 5.68 rating, and his only goal of the season so far came in a Carabao Cup game against Grimsby. Now, there have been some rumblings from some of you that I should consider selling Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and with his market value being 18.5 million, he would certainly be able to add a lot of money to our dwindling transfer budget. However, more importantly, look at the contract length. With him only having 8 months remaining on his contract, it is highly unlikely that I will be able to command a fee for him, especially as he can be snapped up on a free transfer in only a couple of months. So with that in mind, what I have decided to do is call both him and his agent into my office to see if I can thrash out some sort of negotiation to try and extend his contract, potentially add about 3 more years to his time at the club, which, whilst his performances don't exactly merit a new contract, having those extra 3 years will allow me to try and see if I can potentially sell him in the summer for the market value that he's actually worth, if he doesn't start picking up some of his match stats and start getting on the score sheet as the season progresses. Now, on top of that, there is one other man who I am particularly disappointed with this season, and that is this man, Mikkel Damsgaard. He came in on big money in the summer, and with him being rated 79, I thought he was going to come in and immediately improve the starting 11. However, as you can see, he's got no goals in 9 appearances in all competitions, and he is now being outshone by Dele Alli, who has clearly seen the competition. It has ignited a fire in the Englishman that we haven't seen for quite some time, and he's making a serious case to return to the starting 11 ahead of Damsgaard once again. And with him knocking on my door, begging me, pleading with me to try and finally get that opportunity to return to the starting 11. And with us hosting our arch rivals Liverpool at Goodison Park, a huge game calls for a huge, bold move. And so that is why it is time to once again reignite the career revival of Dele Alli at Everton Football Club, as he will return to the starting 11 ahead of Damsgaard, who drops to the bench in my one and only change, as we hope to secure our 3rd victory on the bounce. So here we go then, our biggest game of the season, and it's come at a really good time for us, it must be said. We were in a bit of a rut earlier on, but 2 victories I should say on the bounce is hopefully going to give us a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum heading into this game. But Luis Diaz, already for Liverpool, is trying to see if he can stamp his authority down as he tries to run into the edge of the box. Mark Gay challenges him though, good defending, but frustratingly gives away a free kick in the process, and it's a free kick that Szoboszlai is going to take, and he's right on the edge of the box here. It's Gakpo though, who just feeds it into Gravenberch, who strikes. In the end, it's easy for Pickford. Patterson now down the right-hand side, tries to play it into Bakayoko. It's well challenged though by Liverpool, and straight away inside the opening 10 minutes here, they are all over us. Bakayoko has it again though on the right-hand side. He's going to try and see if he can find a ball across. Can't find the overlapping run of Nathan Patterson, and he gives it away again. And now Andy Robertson has it on the left-hand side. Lovely ball in, but lovely interception from Branthwaite. Dele Alli tries to win it, doesn't do a good enough job, but McNeil now has it. McNeil gives it away. Again, symptomatic of our playing style so far this season, but McNeil wins it back high. Can he try and release Beto? He does. That is brilliant. Beto is clean through here. Beto with the opportunity to strike, and Beto puts us into a 1-0 lead against our arch rivals Liverpool here at Goodison Park inside the opening 18 minutes. And the crowd go absolutely wild, and you can totally understand why. To be fair, our attack was really scruffy at the beginning of the game, but somehow Dwight McNeil managed to bundle the ball and win it back high up the field, played it into the path of Beto, and of course the Portuguese man, who is in fine form at the moment, displacing Dominic Calvert-Lewin, did the rest. Fired it past Alisson, gives us a 1-0 lead. Joe Gomez down the line into Politano. Branthwaite comes across to challenge. Branthwaite does a really good job of challenging, and I've been really impressed with him so far this season. He has seemed to step up in the absence of Tarkowski, and he knows this is his opportunity to try and stake a claim as our long-term partner to Mark Gay in defence. Joe Gomez, a lovely ball into the path of Politano, and now Gakpo has managed to get clear of Mark Gay, and Gakpo absolutely smashes Liverpool level here as he brings the scores back to 1-1. Well, it was a lovely ball through and a lovely counter-attack. He split my 2 defenders in half, and look at that for a finish. Jordan Pickford had absolutely no chance. That is one of the goals of the season. It's 1-1. Well, Liverpool haven't haven't been fantastic so far in this game, but look at the quality that they possess. Within an instant, they are able to level the scores here with an absolute piece of quality. And that just shows the difference so far between the two teams this season. Politano, Liverpool now very much in the ascendancy, playing some really nice 1-2 touch football here. But Onana breaks up the play and feeds it into Garner. And Garner now is surely going to try and release Dele Alli. He can't get past Konate though. The Frenchman is too strong for the Englishman. And Liverpool can bring it back out of defence again. Szoboszlai's being challenged by James Garner, but Luis Diaz has it. Plays it back to Konate at the back. He goes in field for Gravenberch. Gravenberch tries to go one-on-one with Onana, but plays it out to Gomez. Gravenberch gets it back from him into Politano, right on the stroke of half-time. Hato comes across though and wins it, and now Bakayoko can try and counter, but the referee has other plans as he blows for half-time. Mark Gay round the corner into James Garner. Nice ball into him, and James Garner's looking for some sort of option up ahead of him, but Liverpool doing a really good job of just having the extra man in midfield to block off any passing lanes that we want to take. But Hato now is going to try and bring this one forward and plays a lovely ball into Dwight McNeil, who cuts it back into the path of Dele Alli, who strikes, and he puts it wide. Luis Diaz for Liverpool into Andy Robertson. Those two, a lethal combination down that left-hand side. And they managed to find Szoboszlai, who also seems to join them on that left, but Onana came across to try and challenge, and he challenged twice, but then Patterson goes and loses the ball to Luis Diaz after all the hard work from Onana. But then once again the Belgian comes across to challenge. He's having a really good game at the heart of my midfield today. Bakayoko now turns the defender really nicely and releases James Patterson down the right hand side. This is really good. James Patterson knows he hasn't got the beating of the pace for defenders, so instead plays the ball into Beto, who played it into Dele Alli, who smashed it in with his left foot to get his 4th goal of the season, showing exactly why it was the right decision to put him straight back in the starting 11. A lovely little pass into him, and Dele Alli took it beautifully, gave him enough space away from Van Dijk, and he hit it strongly with his left to give Alisson no chance. It was right into the corner of the net, and Everton regain the lead. It's 2-1. Konate tries to go past Garner, gets the pass all wrong though, and now Beto won the ball back high, and now he can drive into the penalty area. Does he have many options? Beto's going to cut it back to Dele Alli again, and Dele Alli, within the space of about 5 or 10 minutes, gets his 2nd of the game, gets our 3rd of the game, and we have a 2-goal cushion here ahead of Liverpool at Goodison Park. Beto drove into the area, and those two, absolutely lethal so far today, laid it on a plate for him. Beto with his 2nd assist, Dele Alli with his 2nd goal, and somehow, some way, Everton lead 3-1 here against Liverpool. Into Endo. Liverpool now just have over 10 minutes to try and see if they can get away back in this game, but Mark Gay with a brilliant challenge, and now Dele Alli releases James Garner, and James Garner releases Beto, and Beto now is going to turn and try and go one-on-one with a defender, tries to play a ball into Dele Alli, looking for his 3rd assist and his 3rd goal. But frustratingly, Liverpool's defence was just one step ahead of us. Gakpo now to try and bring it through midfield, twisting, turning, weaving around, trying to find a way through. And he has managed to find a way through. And I'm switching the players, but the player switching is all wrong here, as now Luis Diaz has it, plays it back into Gakpo. Mark Gay comes across to try and challenge him. He looks like he's doing just enough. He does do just enough. He's been a rock at the back so far. He clears it away as the referee blows for full time. Well, my word, what a victory here at Goodison Park. Another historic day for Everton Football Club, and another historic day for that man Dele Alli. He's come back to haunt Everton's rivals here, as his 2 goals are enough to give us a much needed and huge 3 points as it finishes Everton 3, Liverpool 1. Well, there can be no doubt that Dele Alli impresses once again. More class from the Englishman, another top performance, and it's another goal that means that we beat Liverpool 3-1 and we climb up to the top half of the table for the first time this season, and finally we are starting to look up at the teams above us rather than the ones below us. And look at this, we are now just 5 points behind Newcastle United as we step up our chase for European football. And with Dele Alli scoring 5 goals so far this season, joined by Beto, who's also scored 5 goals and also got 3 assists, these two are leading the way and starting to form a lethal partnership for me up front. Hopefully, it can continue for the long haul. One man I did mention I was really impressed with though was this man Jarrad Branthwaite. He's already gone up by 2 ratings to 79, and at just 22 years of age, I've got so much confidence in the young Englishman that he can really establish himself as a key foundation to our defence for the foreseeable future. However, as you can see with his contract expiring in 8 months' time, I certainly do not want to lose the young Englishman, especially with him already being rated at a market value of £22 million. And so just like last time, it is time to meet up with Jarrad Branthwaite and his agent to try and thrash out a deal that could be a huge moment in both Everton's and Branthwaite's careers. He wants a 4-year contract extension. I am more than happy to offer him a 4-year contract extension. He'll get a nice little salary bump to try and sweeten the deal, and it's a deal that he is more than happy to accept, meaning that Jarrad Branthwaite's career has been locked down at Everton Football Club for the foreseeable future, and hopefully it means that he can continue to form a solid partnership at the back with this man Mark Gay for the rest of this career mode. And so, with some important contracts nailed down and our tactical setup seemingly in a very good place, it's time to get back to the football, but frustratingly we are denied another win, our 4th on the bounce, as Diaby manages to level the scores for Aston Villa as they end up drawing with us 1-1. And the inconsistency continues as it's another late equaliser from Wolves this time to deny us another 3 points as it finishes 1-1 yet again. And it looks like third time is a charm. Another late equaliser, this time from West Ham, denies us for the 3rd game straight of another victory. It's another 1-1 draw and another single point to our name. Finally though, the victory we've been so desperately craving comes to us as an early goal from Bakayoko is enough. We managed to keep a clean sheet at home to Brighton and beat them 1-0. Before we finish off this run of games with a carbon copy of the last one, Bakayoko being the only goal scorer, it's another clean sheet and it's another 1-0 victory, this time against Fulham. And after such a shocking start to Season 2, those results extend our unbeaten run now in the Premier League to 11 games. They don't, however, seem to put much of a dent in the point gap between ourselves and Newcastle. They remain in 5th. We frustratingly drop down to 9th, but there is just still 5 points between the two teams. Plus, for the first time this season, our goal difference is now in the positive. And speaking of positive, Bakayoko seems now to have started to find his feet this season. 5 goals and 3 assists. This is a much better showing from the young Belgium. And as for Dele Alli, he now tops our goal scoring charts with 6 goals to his name, as his career is well and truly starting to take off. However, the big question mark is certainly going to come in our very next game as we face off against Manchester City and a team that boasts the Premier League's top goal scorer this season in Erling Haaland. My starting 11 returns to the usual strongest one, but as you can see, due to the series of games that we've had, there is a lot of fatigue that has come into the squad, and we're going to hope to see if we can try and fight against that and try and secure 3 points here today. Well, it's going to be a tough ask against the team that are running riot in the Premier League, both in this season and in real life as well, but we're going to try and see if we can take this positive momentum and try and see if we can apply it here today. João Cancelo for City. It's Dwight McNeil who's pressing high up the field here as we try and put pressure on this Manchester City defence, and it looks like it's worked because Dele Alli has won the ball back really high up the field here, and he plays it into Beto, who tackle it nicely. He gives it to Onana. Onana out to Dwight McNeil. Dwight McNeil to strike on his left. Good save from Edison. Bakayoko will hopefully keep the ball alive, and Bakayoko will keep the ball alive. Feeds it into Onana, who strikes and puts it wide. Bernardo Silva challenged by Hato really well here. We are really feeling confident so far as these results have picked up for us, but Bernardo Silva manages to dance around Branthwaite, but Onana comes across again. The Belgium has been in sensational form so far this season. Dwight McNeil round the corner into Onana, and now Hato is on the overlap. Onana is going to bring this one away. He finds Hato down the left-hand side. Manchester City is slightly exposed here. Hato goes back in for Onana. Onana to Beto. Beto just gets his touch all wrong, and in the end, Manchester City just about managed to put a block in. Well, chances surely are going to be few and far between for Everton in this game. We have to make sure that we are more clinical and we take them, as Manchester City now going to try and see if they can fight back here. Jack Grealish goes down the left hand side, manages to get past Mark Gay. Can he get past Patterson? Yes he can. Into Rodri. Rodri into the box. We've got to be careful here. Rodri, oh my word, what is going on? Pickford, jeez, I thought he was about to put that into his own net, but fortunately enough he manages to parry it out for a Manchester City corner that Bernardo Silva is going to take, and he takes it short to that man Jack Grealish, who again manages to get past Patterson. Now drives into the box, floats it in. It's Hato who clears it away. James Garner with the head into the feet of Dele Alli, and now Dele Alli can surely release Bakayoko. He does release Bakayoko. João Cancelo tried to come across to put a challenge in. It isn't strong enough, and Bakayoko continues his run, plays it into the path of Beto. Again, it's blocked off by Kanji. Dele Alli on the volley. It's blocked off again by Manchester City, but the chances are starting to build here at Goodison Park. Into Mark Gay. Once again, we're going to try and see if we can build out from the back here at the beginning of this second half. Garner has it in a really good position. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful play as Dele Alli releases Bakayoko down the right-hand side. This is wonderful stuff from Everton. An Everton team that are clearly full of confidence. It's thrown into the box, looking for Onana. Headed away, though, by the Manchester City defence. João Cancelo tries to float it up the line into the path of Bernardo Silva, but it's well defended by Hato. Branthwaite now, though, gives it away to Robertson in a really dangerous position. Jack Grealish has it for City. Into the danger man Haaland. Rodri comes across, and Rodri smashes Manchester City into a 1-0 1-0 lead here at Goodison Park. Well, it all came from another lapse in concentration at the back, and Haaland played it into Rodri, and Branthwaite seemed to just dive out of the way there. He should have done enough to put the block in, but he didn't. Oh, he got the challenge all wrong, and Rodri absolutely hit that with nothing short of 100% power. I'm frustrated. It's 1-0 Manchester City. Well, we've got about 30 minutes on the clock here to try and see if we can find a way back into this game. It's really frustrating because we've had ample opportunities. We just couldn't seem to take them. But again, that is the difference between qualities of these two teams. But Bakayoko now has it down the right-hand side. Can he try and shift onto his left? He can. I was going to try and play it around the corner, but Gvardiol was onto that one. And he can now try and streak down the left-hand side, but plays it into Haaland. Nice little one-touch into Grealish. Grealish now to try and drive past Garner. Doesn't do enough to get away from him, though. And Manchester City still have the ball in a dangerous position. It's Rodri who picks it up, the goal scorer. Into Robertson. Robertson's being chased down by Onana, but Bernardo Silva now has it on the right-hand side. Plays it back into João Cancelo. Is this move starting to break down for Manchester City? But somehow they still have the ball, and they still are building out from midfield. Bernardo Silva into Robertson. It's so difficult to get it off the ball. It's so difficult to win it back. And Rodri now has it in the box. Mark Guehi came across, put the block in, and Onana with a diving header just to hack it clear. But City still keep the ball alive. We cannot get rid of it out of our half. Akanji now into Robertson. Robertson into Rodri. Rodri to strike. Rodri to score. Manchester City double their lead. And once again, it's the Spaniard who gets his second goal of the game. We just could not clear our lines. It is so difficult to get the ball back from Manchester City. And Rodri surely now has put the final nail in this Everton coffin as Manchester City lead here at Goodison Park. 2-0. Branthwaite into Onana. Out to Mark Guehi. Every single time we seem to try and play the ball forward, Manchester City just seem to have an extra body in midfield, but James Garner has managed to release Bakayoko down the right-hand side, and the Belgian once again can try and cut onto his left. Can he try and find a ball in? It's Garner into Dele Alli. Dele Alli into Onana. Onana back to Dele Alli. He's twisting, turning. Manchester City just have too many bodies back defensively. They are so good. Bakayoko can't get past Gvardiol again. And yet again, we cannot seem to break down this stubborn Manchester City defence. Jack Grealish now down the left-hand side. Patterson frantically trying to come back here to try and cover him off. Hasn't got the pace or the stamina to do so. Mark Guehi will, though. He will try and cover him. Doesn't do a good enough job, but James Garner now has it into Damsgaard, who's on as a substitute. But the referee decides to blow for full time. Well, it's a frustrating game, and you can see Bakayoko is one of those players who is frustrated. We had chances to win it. We did create some decent chances, but we just didn't seem to have our shooting boots on. But when you are not clinical against Manchester City, the likes of Rodri will come back to bite you. As at full time here it finishes, Everton 0, City 2. Now, whilst yes, that does end our unbeaten run, to be totally honest with you, I'm actually not too disappointed with the performance of the players. I actually think we played some really good football, but there was just a massive gulf in quality between the two teams. It's frustrating because it means that we are not able to close the gap to Newcastle United in 5th. However, it does seem like that loss and the lack of game time for certain players in the team have had a profound effect on their morale at the club, with one of those being Vitaly Mykolenko, displaced in the starting 11 by this man, the 18-year-old Joel Hato. He has now had enough, and he submitted a transfer request. And with West Ham expressing an interest in the Ukrainian, offering £12 million to secure his services, and with me only having £3 million left in my budget ahead of the January transfer window, let me know down in the comments below what you think I should do. Should I consider selling Mykolenko, getting rid of him, and trying to add a little bit more money to my transfer budget? But bearing in mind, I obviously will have to replace him, as if I get rid of him, it will only leave this man, Joel Hato, as the only senior left-back at the club. So let me know what you think. Should I accept the bid from West Ham United? And if I do, who should I consider bringing in to try and replace him as our reserve left-back? However, with just one more game left to play in this episode today, we have the opportunity to get right back to the football and get right back to winning ways and bounce back from that loss against Manchester City as we head over to the Vitality Stadium to face off against the Bournemouth team that are struggling so far in the Premier League. It's a team that we are expected to beat, and one that we must if we want to secure 3 points here today. A little bit of fatigue in the starting 11 means that there are a few changes, and those changes being Tarkowski coming in place of Branthwaite, who drops to the bench. Damsgaard also comes in behind Beto, who replaces Dele Alli, who also drops to the bench, and Huerta makes a start on the left-hand side in place of McNeil. Becker for Bournemouth, into Adams. It's been a really good start from the South Coast club as they put it over the bar with Philip. Well, early signs here inside the opening 5 to 10 minutes. The Bournemouth are not a team that we need to consider taking lightly here, as they have started off the better of the two teams, and they've got a corner, and it's one it looks like they are going to take short here. We can't seem to get out of our own half inside the opening 5 minutes. Bournemouth really playing well. James Garner comes across. He's under a bit of pressure and can't seem to wriggle away from the corner flag. Bournemouth still have it. Into the box goes Cook. He's blocked off, but he still manages to keep hold of the ball. But eventually Nathan Patterson manages to win it back. And now can we try and see if we can hit them on the counter-attack? James Garner tries to play it forward, gives it away. Another poor piece of play here from Everton. And now Bournemouth can go again. Inside our half, Becker manages to wriggle away. Tavernier into the left-hand side, into the box, floats it across to the back post. Pickford manages to put the block in. It's bouncing around like a pinball. And Hato just about manages to clear it. Philip with the throw. Into Smith. It's been all Bournemouth so far in this game. We are really struggling. Hato struggling to win the ball back. Favre now has it again. Into Philip. Out to Adams. Adams strikes, drags it wide. Right, come on, Everton. We have to try and see if we can get our heads out of the sand here and try and see if we can string just a couple of passes together to try and find our way into the Bournemouth half here. As Mark Gay now does string a pass into Garner. Garner into the feet of Beto. Beto round the corner. Has he managed to feed in Bakayoko's? Bakayoko is straight offside though. Adams for Bournemouth. Into Philip. Philip into Favre. Favre turns. He's going to try and see if he can go out wide, but Onana wins it back really well. And now Beto plays it into Damsgaard. Damsgaard, though, doesn't have any options whatsoever, so he has to drag it all the way to the right. And now he's going to try and feed it into Nathan Patterson. He does. Patterson, though, back to Damsgaard. Damsgaard has time to pick out his spot, and he finds Onana, who just heads it over. Well, that was our first big opportunity of the game, and it's one that arguably the young Belgian should have done better with. Into Cook, who goes central. Now out to Smith on the right-hand side. Smith, though, knocks it down the line. Really nicely done by the Englishman, and he manages to get away from the challenge of a couple of players. Huerta comes across, doesn't manage to block. Philip, though, into Favre. Favre again into the box. It's blocked off, though, by Hato this time. Into the feet of Beto. Can we try and see if we can hit them on the counter-attack? Damsgaard tries to play it across, doesn't manage to, but he is going to try and see if he can hold up the ball and play it all the way out wide to Nathan Patterson. He goes in field, and he just gets it all wrong. Bakayoko can't get on the end of it as the referee blows for half-time. Well, poor passing in the final third, and to be honest, poor passing in our own half has pretty much been the story of this game so far. We've taken Bournemouth a little bit too lightly here. We've got 45 minutes to try and change that. Patterson down the right-hand side. Lovely ball into Bakayoko. Tried to play it into the middle, but Bournemouth defended well. And once again, they can bring it out of defence with Tavernier into Philip. Yet again, Bournemouth in the ascendancy at the start of this second half. They managed to wriggle clear of the challenge of Patterson. Favre now. He's being chased down by Tarkowski. Becker into Philip. Philip strikes. What a save from Jordan Pickford. That is a save that really keeps us in the game here. And now Bakayoko down the right-hand side. Have we got the opportunity now to try and see if we can hit them on the counter-attack? Bakayoko into Damsgaard. Damsgaard strikes with his left. And what an almighty counter-attack it is. And it's Damsgaard's first goal in an Everton shirt this season, and what a time to score it. Bakayoko across to Beto, a one-touch assist into the path of Damsgaard, and he absolutely lashed it with his left foot straight into the back of the net. The keeper's reaction just weren't quick enough, and fortunately enough for me, against the run of play, we take the lead. Bournemouth, though, looking to respond as soon as they possibly can, and they've got a free kick in a dangerous position. They take it short into Favre, out to the edge of the box. It's Cook who has it. Cook to Tavernier, back to Cook. It's blocked off by Bakayoko. Headed away, though, by Hato. Huerta's going to try and get there. He does manage to get there, and he tries to clear his lines all the way down into the Bournemouth half, but it's a bit of a stray pass, and Bournemouth will go again into the feet of Phillips on the right-hand side. Favre once again flicks it back to Smith. Smith into the centre-back. All of the players from both teams inside the Everton half here as we desperately try and see if we can hold on and keep hold of this 1-0 lead. It's Tarkowski who comes across, though, a man who's lost his place in the starting 11 to Mark Gay. He did enough, though, to win the ball back. And once again, now we can try and go again as Garner now has it. He's going to try and see if he can play it into the feet of Beto. It's not a good enough pass, and yet again, Bournemouth can bring it out of defence. Once again, Bournemouth have control of this game. Reguilon now down the left-hand side manages to wriggle away from Bakayoko and goes inside now into Adams. Adams tries to play it into the striker, but Tarkowski hacks it clear. Anywhere will do at this moment in time. Adams for Bournemouth into Philip. Philip once again has space to try and play it into Becker. Becker with the return ball into Philip. And Gay came across with a crunching challenge, and now Garner can release Damsgaard, and Damsgaard can release Beto. It's a wonderful ball, and Beto, the Portuguese, can drive into the box and strike. What a save from the goalkeeper. Well, in a game like this, it's chances like that we absolutely must take. But with 88 minutes on the clock, all we've got to do now is make sure that we hold on to this single solitary goal and hold on to this lead that will give us a much needed 3 points. Hato, though, blocks off the run of the defender, of the striker, but Favre manages to win it back from him. Hato, though, what a ding-dong battle between the two of them. The Dutchman clears it away as the referee blows for full time. My players celebrate. They know just how important that game was. It was a hard-fought victory if I've ever seen one, but a first goal in an Everton shirt for this man is enough to get another win as it finishes at full time. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0. After 14 tries in all competitions with no goals and no assists, on the 15th attempt, Damsgaard finally gets his goal, and he will be hoping that will kickstart his Everton career. And we will be hoping that will continue our march to the European spots, now just 4 points behind Nottingham Forest, who find themselves in 5th place. And with the January transfer window just round the corner, and with some big decisions to be made about the futures of Vitaly Mykolenko and of James Tarkowski, who is now subject to a bid from Liverpool of £12.6 million, this season is shaping up to be a really exciting one. But that is it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.